Hey everyone, welcome back. I just wanted to mention one thing before we get started with our class, which is we are doing a 14-day meditation challenge in our Patreon community at the beginning of July. So if you're really curious about starting or growing your meditation practice, this is going to be a great opportunity for you. I've been studying meditation for almost a year now, and it has been a life-changing practice. So I'm really excited to share what I've learnt along the way with you. I'll leave the link for the Patreon community down below. I'll also include a 50% off discount code for the first month. Now, for our class today, we are practicing a pose that is new for me, and it might be new for you as well. It's an arm balance. It's kind of like a variation of crow pose, like a one-legged crow, but the forearm is going to be down on the ground. It is quite a challenging one, but we are going to be strengthening a lot through the shoulders and the core to warm us up for this position. What's really cool about just yoga asana in general is that we are moving in lots of different ways, lots of different positions that we wouldn't normally do in our day-to-day life. And anytime we learn new movements, we light up a part of our brain that's called the Primary Motor Cortex. And this is responsible for our voluntary actions. So anytime we move a part of our body, voluntary, I want to go get this thing or whatever, this is the part of the brain that kind of is responsible for that. And whenever we learn new movements, it means that certain neural pathways have to light up new ones. And so we are increasing our neuroplasticity, which is so good for our brain, especially as we get older. So as we move today, and you might encounter new positions or challenging movements physically, just know that what you're doing is really good for your body, and it's also really good for your brain as well. Okay, we are going to begin in Vinyasa, a child's pose. So, you might have your knees more narrow here, you might have your knees wider, it is totally up to you. Sink your hips down towards your heels, reach your hands forward, and your forehead could come down onto the ground, or you could stack your hands together, bring your forehead on top of your hands. Let's start to connect with the breath. Noticing the inhalations as they come in through the nose and the exhalations as they come out through the nose. And just for the moment, let's encourage a sense of softness, of heaviness. There's going to be plenty of activation and engagement in our class today. So let's take some time to do the opposite, to completely let go. This might look or feel like your chest dropping towards the ground more, or maybe there's more room for your hips to sink back towards your heels. And maybe you even bring a sense of openness or curiosity into the mind. And curiosity of our body and the different shapes that it can create. And curiosity of the mind, the different thoughts and journeys we can go on within. Okay, let's take another 3 slow breaths here. Maybe breathing a little deeper into the belly, into the sides of the ribs, the back of the ribs, the front of the ribs, and the chest. And then as you exhale, letting the breath out through the nose, maybe you constrict the throat, creating that wave-like sound for your Ujjayi pranayama. Wiggle your hands out a centimeter more, create length through the arms, and keep kind of wiggling your fingertips forward. You can kind of imagine a caterpillar here as you lift your hips up above your knees for puppy pose. You might shuffle your knees underneath your hips so they're closer towards each other, letting a hinging motion happen at the hips. So drop the belly down, drop the chest down, and if you're feeling really open already, you could kind of lift the chin onto the ground, looking forward slightly. One more breath. Ground the forearms down. Inhale as you shift your weight forward. As you exhale, lower your belly, lower your hips, bring the hands by your sides. Inhale for baby bhujangasana, cobra pose, squeeze glutes, roll shoulders back. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your ribs in. We push up onto our knees. Inhale. As you exhale, walk your hands back, sit down onto your heels. Take the hands behind the back, interlace fingertips. Inhale, open the chest. Try press the palms towards each other. As you exhale, lower the forehead down, reach the knuckles high. So trying to create as much space between the floor and the top of your knuckles as possible. Keep your head down, but release the hands with as little slingshot as possible. So keep them close towards each other. And imagine like you're doing butterfly in the water. Take your hands really wide, big breath in. Keep circling them forward until they land shoulder width in front of you, back into child's pose. Just like we did before, caterpillar your hands forward until your hips lift. Inhaling. As you exhale, drop into puppy pose. Ground the forearms, inhale, shift forward. Exhale to lower yourself down. Bring your hands by your ribs, point your toes. Inhale, cobra, maybe a little higher this time. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your ribs in, push your upper body off the ground at once. Inhale. As you exhale, sink back to your heels. Inhale, wrap the hands behind you, maybe opposite hand on top this time. As you exhale, pull the knuckles down. Inhale, lift up, start to dive forward. As you exhale, ground the forehead, reach the knuckles high. Release the hands, keep them close though. Inhale. As you exhale, start to circle them wide. Try keep them as far off the ground as possible until you land down. Let's try that again. Inhale, walk your hands forward, lift your hips. Exhale, dive the chest down. Push your hands down into the ground. Same with the elbows. Inhale, ripple forward. Exhale to lower. Now either cobra or you could come into locust. Hands come behind. Inhale, lifting the feet up. Maybe the hands up as well. Exhale, hold. Lower yourself down. You can either push up onto your knees if you felt like more. Tuck toes, lift knees off. High plank. Inhale. Whole body comes off at once. And then as you exhale, lower the knees down. Shift your hips back. Take the hands behind the back. Inhale. As you exhale, pull your knuckles down. Inhale, start to dive forward. Lift the knuckles high. Exhale to hold. Release the hands. Inhale. Slowly circle them around. Exhale. Land them down. Let's go one more time. Inhale, shift forward. Lifting the hips. Exhale, puppy pose. Ground the elbows. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, lower down. Maybe locust pose, shalabhasana. Inhale, lifting up. Exhaling to hold. Lower down, either pushing up onto knees or toes. Inhale, high plank. As you exhale, bring the knees down, shift your hips. Shift your hips back, walk yourself back. Sit down on your heels last time, hands come behind, opposite hand comes on top. Inhale, open up, pull the knuckles down. And then as you exhale, dive it forward. Okay, last time here. Release the hands slowly, inhale. As you exhale, reach them forward, child's pose. Well done, everyone. Rock yourself up, come into tabletop. Spread your hands wide and start to take some circles on the wrists. Circling out in one direction and in the other direction. You might even flip one hand around so that the fingertips are pointing towards you. Maybe there's a little shift forward and back, but a little goes a long way here, so don't feel like you need to force it in your body. If you're on the one hand, just flip, turn the other one around. And come back through center, bring both hands the opposite way down, so palms facing up, fingernails pressing down to the ground. All right, come back, spread your fingertips wide, tuck your toes, hover the knees just off the ground. You want to protract your shoulder blades here, so puffing up through your upper back. This is really important as we practice our crow pose, our kakasana. Can you imagine your fingertips really trying to grip the ground, like you're trying to curl them underneath? Okay, again, this is just going to help give us more energy through the front of the fingers. They're kind of like our handbrakes, literally. One more breath. Lift your hips up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Adjust your stance as you need, maybe walking feet back or hands forward. Pedal out your feet, dropping one heel down. Dropping the other heel down. We are going to be opening through the hamstrings a little bit in our practice today, mostly focusing on the upper body, but the hamstrings is just going to get us a little bit of height if we are practicing that funky crow. Okay, downward facing dog, softening the heels towards the ground, pushing through the hands, drawing your chest closer towards your thighs. Use your next breath in, walk your hands back towards you. Exhale to fold Uttanasana at the back of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Rise up through standing. Breathe in. Arms come over your head, squeeze the glutes. As you exhale, dive it straight back down. Halfway lift, inhale. As we exhale, hands come down, walk yourself out into your plank, and then bring your hands to your front of the mat and the feet to the back of your mat. So you're kind of in a really long plank here. Let's all bring the knees down for the moment. A little tuck of the ribs. Okay, so there's a bit of flexion through the spine here, and that's going to counter any extension we might experience through the lower back. Big breath in. As you exhale, tap the elbows down to the ground. Inhale, push back up. Exhale, lower down. Let's go 3 more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Nice, coming down, and then bring your hands towards each other. Elbows are still underneath the shoulders. Okay, you might stay here. If you felt like a little more, kind of shift your weight towards the left slightly as you reach your right hand down by your right hip. Left palm might come down to the ground, kind of underneath your head. Come back, right elbow comes down, right palm might come down, and then reach your left hand back as well. Trying to keep the hips and shoulders square to the ground. Come back, lower your hips, lower your chest, either cobra or locust pose. Inhale, lifting up. Exhaling to hold. Can you point your toes? Get your heels a little higher. Lower down, hands by the ribs, either pushing to knees or toes. Inhale, high plank. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk your hands back. Exhale, tuck your chin in, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Rise through standing, ripple the spine. Once you get to the top, you go straight back down, bend your knees, hinge from your hips. Halfway lift, inhale. Lift through the back of the head. Exhale, hands come down, walk yourself out into your long plank. So arms forward, feet back. Option this time to stay on your toes. This is going to be quite challenging, so you can always lower one elbow at a time. So lowering down on your exhalation. Inhale, push back up. Whew. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Super strong for the triceps. Let's go 3 more. Having that wide base of support with the hands is going to help with this. 1 more. And then eventually bringing the elbows back down to the ground. Bring your hands a little more in. We're going to do that one arm reach. Remember, you can be on your knees or your toes here. Shift your weight to your left slightly. Right hand reaches back. Try to keep the hips in line with the shoulders. Right elbow comes down. This is super challenging. Breathe in. As you exhale, left hand reaches back. Bring the left elbow down, lower yourself down, locust pose, option this time, hands in front. Inhale, lift up. Exhale to hold. Lower down, press up, high plank. Breathing in, exhaling, downward facing dog. Let's try that again. Walk your hands back, breathe in. Exhale to fold. Halfway lift. Straighten the spine. Exhale, fold again. Rise up, push your feet down, inhale. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, walk your hands forward to the end of the mat. Walk your feet to the back of the mat. Let's just do this 1 time. So breathe in at the top. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Maybe 2 elbows come off at once. Exhale to lower. Nice, walk the hands a little further in. Maybe you take the feet a little wider. Inhale, right hand reaches back. Hold for your exhale. Stay for another breath in. Exhale, right hand comes down, right elbow comes down. 1 to 2 breaths at the other side. Everything is shaking. Lower yourself down to the ground. Locust pose. Inhale. Exhale. Hands come down. High plank. Inhale. Exhale. Downward facing dog. 1 more time. Walk your hands back. Breathe in. Fold forward on your exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. We get some rest after this. Exhale to fold. Rise up, inhale. Tuck your ribs in, exhale, fold it back down. Halfway lift. Exhale, walk it out. Walk your feet, remember, on your knees or your toes. We want to maintain the integrity of our core and our spine, so we're not moving too much. So modify as you need. Inhale up. Exhale, lower the elbows. Inhale, lift. Exhale, low. Hold. Walk your hands in a little more. So you're making a triangle. Maybe take the feet a little wider. Keep your hips in line with shoulders. Shift your weight into your left. Right hand reaches back. Right elbow comes down, swap to the other side. Feels a lot easier on my right. It's still hard, but definitely my stronger link. Okay, lower yourself down to the ground. Locust pose, last time here, inhale. Exhale. Hands come down, push up, inhale. This time ground your knees down, sink your hips back, child's pose. Or you can stay up in a seat, whatever feels good for you. Catch your breaths. Notice your heart rate. Taking longer breaths to let it slow down. You'll notice when we do come into the funky crow a little later on that we need a lot of strength through our triceps and through kind of the upper shoulder. So everything that we were just doing then, including the core, will be very helpful for that. Okay, now you can stay here. If you felt like something different, you could either come back into down dog or into dolphin pose. So dolphin pose is basically down dog with the forearms down. Now, usually I encourage forearms parallel with each other. This makes it a bit more challenging for our external rotators of the shoulders. But if it feels more comfortable, you can bring your hands closer towards each other. Okay. In our end position, our hands are going to be angled in, kind of like on a diagonal, so it's up to you. We're just going to hold here for another kind of 5 to 8 breaths. So really focus on pushing the forearms down into the ground. Bend your knees a little more to help the hips to hinge forward, lengthening the spine. You're trying to press your chest towards your thighs, helping to gain flexion of the shoulder. Flexion being when the shoulders are up, biceps by the ears. One more breath. Nice, and then coming down, maybe shaking out the arms for a moment. Okay, we're going to go into a new sequence. This is going to be the last kind of flowy sequence that we learn, and then we're going to play and workshop and take more time for rest in between each go. So for the moment, if you feel ready, let's come back into downward facing dog. Use your next breath in. Sweep the right toes high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, roll forward, right knee towards the nose. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Hold in your plank. Tap your right knee towards the center of the mat. Inhale. As you exhale, draw knee to nose. And again, inhale, tap it down. As you exhale, puff up through your upper back. Draw the knee in. 1 more. Maybe you even go knee to forehead. Exhale. Knee comes down. Inhale. Bring the shin down. Lift your left foot up. Exhale to hold. So you're kind of in a 3-legged table. Inhale. Chin and chest to the ground. Lift the left foot high. As you exhale, tuck your left toes at the back of the mat. Right knee comes to nose. Inhale, lower the shin, chin and chest, tuck your elbows in. Exhale, left toes tuck, right toes lift. Let's go 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. This time 3-legged dog, right toes sweep high. Inhale. Exhale, walk your hands towards your left foot, standing splits at the back of the mat. You might keep the hands down on the ground, or you could wrap your left forearm behind your left calf, trying to get your chest a little lower on your legs, lifting your right toes a little higher. One more breath. Cross the right foot behind the left, cross-legged forward fold. Just make sure that right knee is bending quite a bit here, and that's just going to protect the knee joints. Option here, binding the hands behind the back, just like we did at the very beginning, interlacing fingertips, pulling knuckles up and over the head. Start to roll yourself up through standing. Breathe in. As you exhale, come to your toes, lift the heels off. We're going to do a 360 circle. Start to turn to your right, pivot on your toes, keep turning until you land back at the front, right foot in front of the left this time. Land the heels down, bend your left knee, inhale, lift the chest. As you exhale, fold forward, reach your knuckles forward again, tuck the chin in. Halfway lift, release the hands, bring them to your shins, lift up. As you exhale, walk your hands forward, plank position, left toes lift off the ground, three-legged plank. Inhale, shift forward, come high onto your right toes. Exhale, chaturanga, come halfway. Inhale, push back up. Exhale, lower half. Inhale, push back up, one more. Exhale, lower half. This time you can pull through to a back bend of choice. Maybe that's cobra on the ground, locust, maybe upward facing dog, hold. Create space between the shoulders and the ears. One more breath in. As you exhale, downward facing dog or child's pose at any point as well. Take 2 breaths at the back. Okay, let's repeat that sequence on the other side. Sweep the left toes high, inhale. Exhale, roll forward, knee to nose. Lift it up, inhale. Square hips, square shoulders. Exhale, roll. One more. Tap the left knee to the ground, inhale. Exhale, push back up. Inhale, tap. Exhale, round through your upper back. One more. Maybe knee to forehead, exhale. Bring the knee down, three-legged table, inhale. Lift the right foot, hold for your exhale. Chin and chest, inhale. Lift the right foot. Exhale, tuck the right toes, left knee towards the nose. Inhale, lower down, chin and chest. Exhale, lift up. Option just to not do that and just stay in your three-legged table. One more. Three-legged dog. Your left toes are going to sweep high. You might need to hop your right foot forward. As you exhale, walk your hands back towards you. So nice to get off the hands. You could keep the hands down on the ground or wrap your right forearm behind your right calf. And that's going to give you a lever to pull your chest down to lift your left foot a little higher. One more breath. Cross the left ankle behind the right. Bend your knees, in particular your left one. Tuck your chin in. Option, bring your hands behind the back. Other hand comes on top this time. Pull your knuckles forward. Roll yourself up through standing. Inhale. As you exhale, squeeze your glutes, lift your heels. Start to turn to the left. Inhale. Pivot on your toes. And then as you exhale, you keep pivoting until you make your way to the front. For me, that was more like a, like a 270-degree twist. Lift up, inhale. As you exhale, bend your knees, fold forward. Release the hands, halfway lift. Exhale, walk your hands out. Release the right foot so you're in a three-legged plank. You can hold here at any point or bring your left knee down. Otherwise, 3 push-ups. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, push back up. Exhale, low. Inhale, lift. Last one, exhale, low. This time pull through, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your knees down again. Maybe child's pose. Maybe you sit down on your heels, catch your breath. In the back of my mind, I was thinking that maybe we should practice that flow one more time. But now that I'm sitting here, I'm kind of like, I feel like we're pretty warm. So, if you wanted to do that again, you could pause the video and just have a play. Otherwise, let's head into our first crow pose. Maybe just bring the back of your hands together. And then rolling yourself up. Kakasana, hands shoulder width, spreading fingertips wide. You're going to come high onto your toes. Option to bring a block or some books underneath your feet just to lift your hips a little higher. You're going to shift or bend your elbows. Bring the knees to your back of your elbows. Shift your weight forward. That's a really key tip because that's going to help your elbows bend more, creating more of a shelf. Look underneath your head, and then you might squeeze one foot in, keeping the other foot down. Maybe you bring both feet up. Remember that protraction of your shoulder blades. So puffing up through your upper back. You've got those hand brakes, your finger brakes. Drive them down so your knuckles will probably lift. And then when you're ready, just slowly coming down. If there's any way you would like to rest for a few breaths, go for it. I'm going to come into a seat and do some neck circles. I don't know what it is recently, but my neck's become quite tight, especially, I don't know what they are. If someone knows watching this, kind of that part behind the back of the head that's like just underneath or just before your skull starts. And if I just press on them, it's like, whoo. I think it's with all the sitting that I am doing with my meditation. It's just gets a little sore. So we're going to do that again. Option this time to kind of play with more of a one-legged variation. We're not going to go into full extension, but we're just going to have a drill of starting to shift the weight. So come back into your crow. And this is a really good way of learning how to do a one-legged crow. I'm still on this journey. It's something that's quite new to me at the moment. What you'll do is that you'll lift up, you'll come into your crow, keep leaning forward, and then lift up through your kind of your belly, shift your weight into one arm, and you'll try shift the other knee towards center. And then you'll hold. And then come down. When I literally first started doing that, like I couldn't take my knee off. Once I got to the point where I could take my knee off, it would literally like hold for less than half a second. So if that's you, I have been there before. Just keep practicing. Okay, maybe shake out the arms. It takes a lot of core strength, a lot of grip strength, a lot of shoulder strength to be able to hold that position. But once you've kind of played on one side, then you might try the other side. And each time you do it, even if it feels like you're failing, you're lighting up that primary motor cortex. It's trying to figure out where to go and how to move your body. The more you practice it, the more it's going to recognize what you're trying to do, so that when you keep doing it, it's going to be like, I've done this before. I can figure this out a little faster. Okay, so it's not just about the strength or the flexibility, it's about, have I just had the time practicing this new movement? Maybe just rest for a moment. I love having kind of longer breaks in between arm balances because they require so much effort that we kind of need time to recharge. It's like whenever you're playing like a video game and your health drops down, you need time to like let that health bar increase back. So we're going to play, if you want to, with our funky crow, and let's see if I can even do it, because I haven't really been able to get my full leg back yet. But how you'll do this, at least how I found it, is that you'll start by bringing one elbow down kind of on that diagonal, and then your opposite hand, you want to walk it a little further back. So I find it's best if it's maybe half a hand behind the elbow, underneath the shoulder. You want to look forward. You're going to bring your elbow to the back of the arm, and what I found is that the more you can hug your foot up towards the glutes, the flatter your knee's going to be, which means it's going to be a bit easier. Kind of bringing it towards the base of the elbow. You're going to shift your weight forward and try tuck your right knee into your left. And then from there, you might be able to extend your right foot back. I can't do this while talking. I need so much concentration. Okay, but you can give it a go. You've got a feel for it. Okay, I'm going to try with my other arm first. I feel like this might be a little easier. My whole body's shaking. I don't know about you guys. I'm like, what is going on? Remember spreading your hands really wide on the ground. It's getting there. It's getting there. I might try one more, but if you're done, feel free to skip forward a little more. If you're still playing, keep playing with me. There's lots of time. Do not even worry one bit. Whew. Got it for a second. Yes. Oh my gosh, it requires so much shoulder strength. So with that elbow down on the ground, if you really think about just pushing it down, you want to resist the floor, because otherwise you're going to want to flop forward and land on your face. So push it down. It's going to help externally rotate your shoulder, giving you a bit more strength, a little bit more lift. But again, it's just time. It's time under tension. You're getting the reps in. Your body is learning Be kind to yourself. Okay, we're gonna slow things down. Take some weight off our shoulders, come into tabletop, and then cross the right knee behind the left. Take your feet quite wide, and then lower your hips towards the ground. Setting up for Gomukhasana, cow face pose. If you notice your left hip is way off the ground, see if you can lift up onto something. That might be 1 block, it might be 2 blocks, and if that's still not helping, then maybe just come into a cross-legged position. Variation of your Padmasana, your lotus pose. Okay, hands on the feet, inhale, lift up. As you exhale, maybe there's a little lean forward. And slow the breath down. And soften the jaw. Make sure there's a gap between the top of the teeth and the bottom of the teeth. Your lips might even part slightly. Two more breaths. Lift yourself up on your breath in, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, shuffle your left foot in a little more so that the foot's kind of down on the ground, the knees more pointed. We're going to twist, option with the right foot out. Inhale, lift up tall. As we exhale, twist to the left. Your right elbow might come around the outside of the thigh. Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fish pose. You're using your inhalation to lift up and lengthen. And you're using your exhalation to roll your left shoulder back. One more breath. Crouchasana, heron's pose. Take your left knee and you might just hold on to the shin. Otherwise, we lengthen the left leg up, aiming to hold maybe behind the thigh, the calf, or if you're feeling pretty open today, then towards the foot. Try to get that left hip down. Or squeeze of the shoulders. Okay, one more breath. Release the foot, roll yourself forward. Let's come into tabletop again. And we are going to swap to the other side. So let's take the left knee behind the right this time. Feet wide, that's going to give you space to sit back on the ground. Usually with our Gomukhasana, we have the variation with kind of the arm bind. If you wanted to take that, you're most welcome to today as well. So your left elbow would be up. You can either have the right elbow, right hand on top, right arm underneath. We have been doing a lot of tricep work, so that might feel nice. Otherwise, if you're with me, hands down, inhale, lift tall, exhale to fold. It's always nice to have some skin-to-skin contact. A reminder that I am here. Let's go one more breath. Rock yourself up. Slide your right foot a little closer towards you so that the right knee is pointing up a little taller. Inhale, lift up. As we exhale, twist to the right. Sometimes I like to hook my backhand around the front and kind of use that clasp as a way to lift up a little taller. I find this pose quite challenging because you're using a lot of your own strength, so holding on to something means that you can use that force, use that hand to help. Let's go one more breath. Come on back, Kranchasana. Right foot lifts up. Maybe hands behind the thigh, the calf, the foot. If none of those really felt available today, you could use a strap or a towel or something and wrap that behind the back of the foot. Inhale, lift tall, lift the chest. Exhale, hold. Soft bend in the right leg, but drive the right heel away. One more breath. And coming down to the ground. You might shuffle yourself forwards, heading down onto our back. Okay, from here, I'll offer a back bend, being our Matsyasana, our fish pose. If there's another back bend you'd like to do, maybe bridge pose, you're welcome to do that as well, or wheel pose. If you're in fish with me, you can extend your legs out long, hug your hands around the back of the thighs, around the glutes, push your elbows down into the ground, lift the chest up, eye gaze comes behind you, crown of the head comes down on the ground. Opening through the throat, through the chest. One more breath. And then to release, just bring the hands around the sides again. And then lowering your head down onto the ground. You might like to hug the knees into the chest, giving yourself a squeeze. Tucking the chin in so the back of the neck is nice and long. You might stay here. You could come into a variation of shoulder stand or halasana, plow pose. Lifting your feet up, maybe hands by the sides to begin with. Lift your feet up, lift your hips, and then maybe hands come behind the back of the lower back, the lumbar spine. You could point the toes up towards the sky, creating a nice long line. Feet stacking on top of the hips, hips stacking on top of the shoulders, tucking the elbows in. And feel free to stay here. You could also take your feet up and over your head. And if your toes could touch the ground, then you might like to interlace your fingertips, pulling the knuckles forward and rocking a little higher onto your shoulders. One last option is to bend the knees, taking them kind of towards the outsides of the ears. Kanapidasana, ear pressure pose. When you feel ready to roll yourself out, maybe you release the hands and slowly lower yourself down onto the ground. You might take your feet wide and knock your knees towards each other for constructive rest. And if there are any final movements or wriggles you'd like to take before we rest in Shavasana, go for it. You might like to take another twist each side or find a happy baby. But if you feel ready to rest, then let's close down the eyes. You might scoop the shoulders underneath you slightly to open through the collarbones. Relaxing the jaw, the lips, the eyebrows, and the eyelids. And the breath will slow and soften in such a way that as we drift a little deeper into our rest, we can hardly hear the breath. It's so subtle that it doesn't even really make a sound. We'll just be here for another couple of minutes. I'll let you know when it's time to transition out. If you had a little longer to stay here, I would totally encourage you to do so, to rest, to really let all the subtle parts of our practice assimilate. If this is where you'd like to finish your practice, let's create some small movements in the body. Maybe breathing a little deeper. Eventually making our way up into a seat. And closing the eyes down. And just thanking ourselves for being here, for turning up, for practicing. Not only is it really good for our body, it's really good for our brain. I guess our brain is part of our body, as well as our mind, our spirit, creating time for ourselves to play and be curious and be open and try new things and to fail and to maybe succeed. Or what does succeeding even look like? I feel like succeeding is just turning up. Let's finish with the breath. Inhale through the nose, lift tall. Breathe out through the mouth, let it go. Thank you, my friends. I hope you enjoyed today's practice, and I would love to see you in the meditation group, meditation challenge. So just check that out down below. Otherwise, I really look forward to seeing you again sometime soon here on YouTube. Much love to you.